Welcome to a wax pack a day. We're back with our 1990 Fleer series, our Fleeries, if you will. Um, Two Larry Walkers so far, a Dion. Not finding a lot of those cards still, but that's okay. Still having fun. Let's see what's in our pack today. All right, 1990 Fleer baseball. Opening another. This one not sealed very well, but I'm just going to roll with it. There's probably not much chance that people manipulate these cards. Maybe, though. Maybe. There's always a chance. A lot of weirdos out there. So we got Randy Myers of the Mets, Corey Snyder, Todd Benzinger, Jamie Navarro, Steve Bedrosian, Kevin Romine, Shawon Duston. All right, we'll go Shawon with the stage. Hall of played a long time. Rob Deere, Lee Stevens. Weird that the Boston Red Sox sticker is in the middle. Those have been in the front or back of the packs. Mark Thurman, Tim McIntosh, Matt Winters, Kevin Elster, Jose De Jesus, and Frank DePino. So again, nothing I'm looking for there. Let's browse through again, see if none of these guys really mean much to me. Rob Deere, he was a Tiger, home run hitting, kind of ahead of his time. That 3 true outcome type player. The 3 true outcomes, by the way, are home run, strike, and walk. All right, yeah, nothing. Just a bunch of guys. And that cool Red Sox sticker. All right, we'll see what we're gonna talk about this episode. All right, we chose Shawon Duston because I've heard of that guy. Also, if those other guys mean something to you, I apologize wholeheartedly. Make a video about them. Teach me something about those guys I know nothing about. But yeah, Shawon Duston, it is pronounced Shawon. I remember announcers when I was a kid, as he was getting older, pronounce it Sean sometimes. Shawon, guys. Come on. Like, it's clearly like there's an O in between the W and the N. Anyways, so why I chose Shawon Duston is because he played a really, really long time, mostly for the Cubs. So 12 years with the Cubs. I believe there were 2 stints there. But really, you see this a lot in veteran players. They hop around. But in 88 and that 92 season doesn't need to be highlighted. That's just when I screenshot this. So 88 and 90, he didn't win anything. He was named to the All-Star team. But you see that he never reached more than 2.3 WAR. And I've heard in 89, I've heard Cubs fans of this era. Again, this is kind of before my time. I remember watching him in 97 a little bit and 96 probably. I think I know I saw him play for the Cubs a little bit in 97. But I probably saw him play more for the Giants, playing against the Cubs, probably. But yeah, he was kind of a soft hitter. He never had a slugging percentage more than 400, which isn't bad for a shortstop. 426 in 1990. 1,600 total hits, 150 home runs, 200 stolen bases. But yeah, I've heard Cubs fans argue that he should have won a bunch of Gold Gloves. I don't know. The WAR doesn't really reflect that he was like a great fielder or anything, because that does increase your value. Like your Ozzie Smiths of the world probably had comparable stats to this guy hitting wise, but his WAR is 4, 5, 6 some years. So, and really, like, Ozzie Smith and this guy played kind of the same era. I'd say Ozzie Smith started 4 or 5 years before him, and retired 4 or 5 years earlier. So, other fun things about Shawon Duston. So let's go to this next page. So he played in the playoffs a few times, never really accomplished much team wise. He did hit 275 in 27 games. That's pretty dang good. Um, 89 with the Cubs, 99 with the Mets, 2000 with the Cardinals, and 2002. I remember this World Series with the Giants and Angels. The Angels ended up winning. And as you see on the right side, I wanted to include this. He had two stints with the Cubs. So they traded him to the Giants, came back to the Cubs, went to the Pirates, the Indians, back to the Giants, the Cardinals, the Mets, the Cardinals, the Giants. So really interesting career that he hopped around. So he played twice with the Giants. No. Three times with the Giants in 98, 96, and 2001, 2002. Twice with the Cardinals and twice with the Cubs. So he ended up playing for I believe 6 teams, but had those multiple stints where he was kind of hopping around a lot. And one of the reasons I picked this card is they show him bunting in a batting cage. Like that, honestly, pretty good card circumstantially for a bunt card. But like, I want to see a guy hitting or running or yelling at somebody. But like, he's just staring in that camera, bunting, because everybody, chicks dig the bunt ball. I don't know. Anyways, so to recap some things I did not include, he was drafted first overall by the Cubs in 1982, a really high flying prospect. Also, you can read these facts on the backs of the cards. Led Cubs in strikeouts, boo. Second in steals, yay. Had a lot of putouts at shortstop, yay. I assume that's fielding. Um, Anyways, back to the recap. Yeah, drafted first overall, traded 3 times, signed as a free agent multiple other times, played 16, wow, 18 years with 6 teams, was named to the Cubs Hall of Fame. Let's go back to the last slide. It doesn't say what year. I believe that happened in the 2000s, though. I feel like I vaguely remember watching that on WGN. I want to say like 2005. And although he won no titles, as his friend Barry Bonds won no titles, that's maybe one of the reasons he came back to San Francisco a few times. Was Barry Bonds was there, and I know he was friends with him. I was watching the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes, former NBA player, and they were actually talking about Shawon Duston coming to the Giants. And in that 2000, I believe 2001, Barry Bonds hit the home run record, and Barry Bonds was like, "I can't do it, man. I can't do it," which is kind of weird. And Shawon Duston was always the guy like hyping him up and like getting him ready and being like, "Dude, you're gonna break this record. You're the best of all time." And I have a lot of mixed feelings on Barry Bonds. Steroids really diminish what he did, but with or without steroids, he might be the best player of all time. I don't know how you have that debate anymore. But guys like Shawon Dunston knew, hyping their man up, even though you at that point probably already had 550, almost 600 home runs in his career. But having that reassurance from your teammates is really important. So thank you, Shawon Dunston, for making baseball more fun, hyping Barry Bonds up. Hated Barry Bonds as a kid, kind of hate him today, but looking back on it, he's one of the reasons I cared about baseball in the 2000s. So let's celebrate Shawon Dunston and minor celebration of BB, Barry Bonds. All right, thanks for being here. That quest for Lance Blankenship, Pat Sheridan, Nelson Liriano will return tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.